Have you ever imagined what it feels like to lose everything in a blink of an eye and be forced to start over in a foreign land? This is the reality for millions of individuals we refer to as refugees. A refugee is someone who has been forced to flee their home country due to unforeseen circumstances such as war, persecution, climate change, or economic instability. This global refugee crisis is not a sudden occurrence, but rather a devastating issue that has been festering over time, causing displacement of people on an unprecedented scale. Wars and conflicts like the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict have torn apart nations and homes, leaving families with no choice but to seek refuge elsewhere. Economic instability and climate change have also played significant roles, driving people away from their homes in search of a safer, more stable life. The refugee crisis is not a new phenomenon, but an ongoing issue that has evolved and expanded over time. The strife between Russia and Ukraine has caused a significant spike in the refugee population. But how did we get here? To understand this, we need to delve into the underlying factors that have led to this crisis. Political unrest and conflicts, particularly in regions like the Middle East and Africa, have been the primary triggers. However, the recent war between Russia and Ukraine has escalated the situation multifold. The fallout of this war is not confined to the borders of these two countries. It has had a ripple effect, causing a surge in the number of people forced to flee their homes. These individuals, now known as refugees, leave everything behind in the hope of finding safety and a better future. But it's not just about Russia and Ukraine. The issue is global. From Syria to South Sudan, people are being displaced due to various conflicts and crises. These geopolitical tensions not only disrupt the balance of power, but also uproot millions of innocent lives. What happens when you're suddenly a refugee? The aftermath is far more complex than you might think. Imagine losing everything you know and love, then being thrust into a completely new environment. This is the reality for many refugees. The effects of the global refugee crisis permeate every aspect of individual and societal life. Refugees often struggle with integrating into their host countries. A new language, unfamiliar customs, and a foreign culture can create insurmountable barriers. These challenges are often compounded by the economic hardships they face. Many refugees are highly skilled and educated, but find it difficult to find work in their new countries due to language barriers or credential recognition issues. The burden on host countries is also significant. There's pressure on resources, infrastructure, and social services, but it's important to remember the human aspect of this crisis. It's about people, not numbers. Being a refugee is not a choice, it's a desperate attempt to survive. If the refugee crisis is a fire, then prevention and mitigation are the water, but where do we start? We can begin by fostering international cooperation. Countries around the globe must work together, pooling resources and sharing responsibilities. This ensures that the burden doesn't fall on the shoulders of a few. Next, we need policy reforms. We must create and adapt laws that respect the rights of refugees, facilitating their integration into host societies. This includes access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Furthermore, humanitarian aid plays a crucial role. It's not just about providing food and shelter. It's about offering psychological support, helping these individuals regain their sense of self-worth and dignity. Additionally, we must address the root causes of displacement, such as conflict, persecution, and climate change. Only by tackling these issues can we hope to stem the tide of the refugee crisis. The global refugee crisis is not just a problem, but a test of our humanity. It demands our attention, compassion, and action. In the face of such a crisis, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But remember, change begins with awareness. We've delved into the heart of the global refugee crisis, understanding its roots, its impact, and the pressing need for intervention. We've seen how factors like war, especially the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, have exacerbated the situation, forcing more people to leave their homes in search of safety. We've also looked at the aftermath of this crisis, the profound effects it has on individuals, communities, and nations. It's clear that this isn't just about displaced people. It's a matter that affects us all, directly or indirectly. But most importantly, we've explored possible solutions, emphasizing the need for collective effort. From governments to organizations to individuals like you and me, we all have a role to play. This isn't a problem to be solved overnight. It needs time, resources, and most importantly, empathy and understanding. The refugee crisis is a global issue that requires a global solution. Let's be a part of it.